So here's some typical things that could be recycled from a dental practice. Shipping materials. You get boxes from your dental supplier. You can recycle cardboard boxes. Many of the companies now are starting to use less of the styrofoam peanuts and more like brown paper or cellulose type materials that are biodegradable. But if you have magazines in your reception area or newspapers, whatever, those can all be recycled. Your ink and toner cartridges can be recycled. Most of the office supply stores, Staples, Office Max, Office Depot, will give you a credit on your account with them for cartridges that you recycle. There are companies that will refill your cartridges, and I think it's very dependent on your printer that you have, whether the recycled cartridges will work or not. You need to look on the container, same thing with your water bottles, whatever you have, if they have the recycle symbol on it. And typically what most recycling services will take is plastics that are 1 through 5. Some will take 1 through 6. That's what you have to find out. If it's in those numbers, you can do it. 7 usually includes things that are not typically recycled, made out of materials that are combination plastics or something like a Nalgene water bottle. Many times they cannot be recycled. One of my big struggles is finding places to recycle styrofoam. You get eggs sometimes in styrofoam containers, beverage containers, sometimes food service containers. And I have not found any recycling facilities near me where I live in Kansas. So when I go back to visit my home state of Michigan, I take loads of styrofoam with me to go and recycle. My friends and family all think I'm crazy, but the place where I recycle, which is one of the biggest manufacturers of styrofoam food service containers, Dart Container, which is in Mason, Michigan, actually recycles them into picture frames. And I like that philosophy. So great reason to go visit someplace. If you live in the Chicagoland area, there's also a styrofoam recycling facility for Dart Container there as well. So these are, the food service containers are the things, that you get your takeout in, whatever. If it's glass or plastic, styrofoam, the issue I just talked about, cardboard, boxboard. I know practices where they're bringing in cereal boxes if they eat breakfast at the office, or something that maybe has some granola bars or something in it. Most of that stuff can be recycled. And depending on your municipality, they may have single stream recycling where you can just bring a big container of stuff and drop it off, but many have you sort them so that you put all the containers of the food containers together, all the plastics and so forth. Look at things like the tubs that contain your disinfectant wipes, the jugs, your ultrasonic solutions, or your disinfecting solutions come in. The containers do need to be rinsed well, triple rinsed when you dispose of them, but most of them will have probably a 1, 2, or 3 number on them. When we think of biodegradability, we like it to be like immediate. Things will happen right away, but in many cases, it doesn't. It takes a very long time. So you might look at things like equipment covers to put on your light handles and in your air water syringe and those things. And it may say it's biodegradable plastic, but what you need to do is a little more research with that manufacturer to find out, well, how long, what kind of testing do they have that says how long it takes? And, I've seen anything from, 20 years to 80 years to longer than that, or they can't produce the information about it. So just be careful. Disposables are convenient, without a doubt. You don't have to clean, you don't have to sterilize or disinfect them. It saves time. but it does add to environmental waste. If you have reusables, first of all, you have to clean them, get all the debris off, because they won't be disinfected or sterilized unless they're clean. Some people make their own reusable items, meaning that they take single use or disposable items and use them or reuse them a number of times. That is actually against the law. The Food and Drug Administration has a symbol, you can see at the bottom of the slide, the 2 with a line through it. That means that an item is single use and should not be reused. And that applies also to some of our PPE. It applies to gloves, it applies to face masks. And I know that some of you are thinking, wow, that really adds to my cost if I can't reuse the same face mask every day. But if you do, you're putting yourself at risk. We need to somehow strike a balance, and every practice is going to be different. The types of things you use, the types of procedures that you do. My first choice would be find something that's reusable. But are there things that can't be adequately cleaned or can't be reused? Then we have to look at that single use of products. But if I'm using a number of disposables, I can help offset that by making sure that I recycle as much as I can, not necessarily those particular disposable items, but other items, products that are biodegradable. There are some, there's not a lot, but it is possible to find these products for use. There are some companies that make the syringe tips, evacuation tips, cups that are made out of bamboo. There are some Profi angles. There are some face masks that are biodegradable, not reusable, just biodegradable. Toothbrushes with the handles made of bamboo, and exam gloves. Think about the number of exam gloves that everyone uses in a practice every day, all day long. Latex gloves are biodegradable, but they're not used for the most part anymore because of concerns over latex sensitivity. Nitrile gloves, in most cases, which are made of synthetic rubber, are not biodegradable, at least not in any reasonable amount of time.